Today, we are not talking about the big betrayals. We're talking about the quiet ones, the ones that don't look like lies on the surface, but feel like the distance in the body. The ones that make you pause and think something feels off, but I can't explain it. Because sometimes it's not what was said, it's what was never followed through. The I'm on my way when you're still exactly where you were. The I appreciate you without presence to match it. The I'll call you later that fades into nothing. The I'll get to it, but it never becomes a priority. The let's hang out that lives in only conversation. The I'll see you tomorrow that never arrives. And the hardest part, it's not the missed moment. It's realizing the attention was never strong enough to make it real. Because here's what people don't talk about enough: little lies that don't feel little when you're on the one experiencing them. They create something much deeper than frustration. They create confusion. And confusion is one of the fastest way to break emotional safety, because the person on the receiving end starts questioning themselves. Am I expecting too much? Did I misunderstand? Why do I feel hurt when nothing big happened? And slowly they stop trusting what you say, not because they want to, but because their body has learned your words don't match your actions. And over time, that disconnect, it builds quietly until one day they stop showing up the same, not out of anger, but out of protection. Because on the receiving end, it doesn't sound like they forgot. It feels like I don't matter enough for you to follow through. I'm not important enough to be considered. You'll say what sounds good, but you won't be what you said. And that creates distance, not because they're pulling away to hurt you, but because they're pulling away to protect themselves from inconsistency. So let's bring this back to us. This is the mirror at dusk moment, not to shame yourself, but to see yourself and ask yourself honestly, where have I said things that I did not follow through on? Where have I chosen comfort over honesty? Where have I said what sounds good in the moment instead of what I was actually able to do? Because this always isn't intentional. And sometimes it's people pleasing. Sometimes it's avoidance. And sometimes it's not wanting to disappoint someone. So we end up disappointing them anyway. And sometimes it's a deeper issue: lack of alignment, lack of presence, or a lack of understanding that our words carry weight. But let's talk about something else: gratitude. Not the words, the embodied gratitude. Because saying I appreciate you means nothing if your actions don't reflect it. If someone shows up for you, supports you, holds space for you, and you can't meet them with honesty, consistency, or presence, that gets felt. Even if it's never said out loud, it gets felt. And eventually, people stop confronting it and they just shift. They stop expecting from you. They stop believing your words, and they stop investing the same energy, because trust isn't broken in one moment. It's eroded in small, repeated misalignments. But here's the good news: awareness changes everything. Alignment doesn't require perfection, it requires intention. Say less and mean more. Don't promise what you can't follow through on. If you need time, say that. If you don't have the capacity, say that. If you made a mistake, own that. Honesty may feel uncomfortable in the moment, but misalignment creates long-term damage, because people don't pull away randomly. They pull away when connection stops feeling real. So today, this isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming aware. It's about choosing to become someone whose words feel safe to believe, not because you said them, but because you live them. And if this resonates with you, this is the work we do inside the Mirror at Dusk experience. We don't rush transformation. We meet ourselves honestly and choose differently. And you're not alone in this. You're not behind. You're becoming aware, and that changes everything.
So I pivot back to peace.